Joburg Council Speaker Vasco da Gama has been ousted in a no-confidence vote. He was voted out in the early hours of this morning during a sitting of the City of Johannesburg. The motion of no confidence was settled with 136 votes in favour of it and 132 against it, and that resulted in the DA's Gama being ousted. The vote was brought by the PAC and backed by the EFF, the ANC and other smaller parties in council. They'd accused the Gama of being biased against DA coalition members and for interfering in the city's procurement processes. Johannesburg Mayor Mpho Phalatse's office says she's noted the move and has assured residents that the work of repairing and rebuilding the city remains on track. Now, this is the second time that the Gama has been removed as council speaker. You might remember he was ousted during the late Mayor Jeff Makubo's administration too. Let's get reaction now to what took place in the early hours of this morning. Bring in ActionSA's Joburg Caucus leader, that's Funzi Ngobeni, who joins us via our video link this morning. Great to see you, Funzi. Thanks very much indeed for making time to speak to us. My understanding is that there were 4 motions yesterday. The ousting of the speaker was motion number 4. We now know he's been out. It was a motion that was brought forward by the ANC and the EFF. How did ActionSA vote on it?
Good morning, Ayanda, and good morning to the viewers. And by the way, it was not the first time in these 8 months that we have been in government that this motion was brought to council. So it was the 3rd time that the opposition obviously attempted to vote him out, and they were successful yesterday with the support of ANC, EFF, and others. As ActionSA, we voted against the motion. And unfortunately, the numbers didn't make it, and the motion carried. So it's really unfortunate. We would have hoped that, especially our coalition partners, with all the issues that we have with the Speaker of Council, that those matters will have been resolved internally, and we'll be able to move on, with the Speaker that we have chosen. Yeah.
I mean, if the motion didn't pass several times before, something must have changed this time around. What do you reckon that is?
Yeah, look, I think there is obviously a lot of allegations now of bribery and so forth, which I think will have to be investigated, and we find out what happened. But it succeeded simply because, there's 2 councillors from the ACDP, 2 out of 3 that voted with the opposition. There's 1 councillor from the IFP, 1 out of 7 that voted with the opposition. And then there was a COPE, member and a UIM member who have been voting with us all along, that also decided to vote with the opposition. So that's how it succeeded this time around. And I think what basically says to us is that we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to reflect. We need to introspect. I think individually as political parties, and also collectively as a coalition, and find out what issues are, and try and resolve whatever issues that our partners have. It's really unfortunate because it must be pointed out that one of the historic motion yesterday was supported by all these coalition partners. We tabled as ActionSA a motion to resolve the ESCOM issues in Soweto, and our motion was supported by all these parties. Some of them voted with the ANC on ousting da Gama. So we need to reflect and check with them and see whether we can't find each other in going forward.
Right, and we'll speak about that integration motion in a short while. I just don't want to conflate issues. Still around Vasco da Gama, the vote itself was very tight. I mean, Vasco was ousted with a very close margin, with just 4 votes really making the difference. It says to an outsider that there are deep divisions, at least around this issue, within council. What does that mean about finding a replacement speaker?
Yeah, I mean, I think our speaker in that motion, our chairperson of caucus, Nobuhle Mthembu, was quite clear about our position on the speaker. We have raised a number of issues. I think since around November, when we started picking up that the speaker was really inefficient in some of the work that he had to do. He was not applying the rules properly. We raised it with him, and he was very accommodative to the coalition, to the opposition, because from time to time the opposition will disrupt, cancel, they will try and collapse, cancel, and he will not take action against them. And we have raised these matters internally here in Johannesburg. We have escalated them to our national leaders as well. But we have taken a position as ActionSA that all these issues we will resolve them internally with our partners, and we will not go out and vote out one of our coalition partners, supporting a motion tabled by the opposition. And unfortunately, it seems like other members of the coalition didn't take that posture.
Sure. There's already talk now that Vasco da Gama being removed in this way is a precursor ultimately for Mpho Phalatse being removed as the mayor for the city of Johannesburg. The greater context, of course, is that just yesterday we heard about a DA-led alliance in Knysna also being ousted. Firstly, what's your response to that, and do you reckon that's where things are headed?
Look, I mean, I don't think ANC will get tired of trying to to get back to power. I think all of us know that ANC is a party of the past. It's a dying organization. They know that the odds are against them towards 2024. They will do everything to get back into these municipalities, and for the sole reason of trying to use the resources that are in the city to campaign and to steal. That's what they've been doing for the last 28 years. So they will do everything to do. So what that is beyond our control. What is within our control is to make sure that we bring all the parties that are aligned, that understand that South Africa needs to be fixed, and work with them, and not be arrogant, but listen to them and ensure that our programs speaks to what their constituencies and all our constituencies have actually voted for last year. So it's a question of ensuring that you keep on reflecting and introspecting and trying to meet each other's halfway. The coalition is difficult, and it's important that those that are leading in this coalition need to understand that they didn't win election, that they are not sole leaders in this coalition, that they need to ensure that they are not arrogant at all times. So it's very, very important that needs to happen, and that will assist us in moving forward.
You say what the ANC is doing is beyond your control. So what are you saying? Mpho Phalatse may very well be on her way out?
Yeah, it's beyond our control that ANC will continue to mobilize and will continue to bribe people. We can only report these cases to the police if we have all the evidence, and the police can investigate and arrest if there is such. That's beyond our control. What is within our control is to unite the coalition, is to unite people that are aligned with us in our values and who agree that we need to fix South Africa, and that ANC is not a solution. That is within our control, and I think, as I indicated, it will all need us to manage this coalition in a manner that it at least accommodates everyone.
Yeah.
That's what I think we can only do, and it's possible. It has been done before, and I think we can do so towards 2024. And most of the parties do understand that ANC doesn't stand a chance in 2024. They do understand that siding with the ANC at this moment, it's just ridiculous, because the future is clearly without the ANC.
Sure. I did mention that there were a couple of motions that were debated yesterday. One of them is one you've already alluded to, and that's around the integration of those who receive electricity from Eskom directly in places like Soweto being taken under city power. What are the direct implications of a motion like this passing?
It's a very important motion, and I think it's known by South Africans that the issues of Eskom have really impacted our residents, have impacted municipalities in a big way, and many of our residents in Soweto are experiencing this on a daily basis. So we have put a motion that basically asks the city to do a feasibility study on the impact of integrating Eskom customers into city power. We want the city to ensure that these customers are integrated, but also very important that we do not inherit the debt that Eskom has incurred over the years, in places like Soweto. So we are asking them to start initiating a process to engage with National Treasury, Department of Energy and Mineral Resources, so that we can be able to get the resources that are needed to implement this. We want it to be implemented as soon as possible, at least firstly as a pilot program in one of the areas around Soweto and so forth, so that we can be able to see how we can move out of being reliant to Eskom at the end of the day.
Funzi Ngobeni, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Funzi is the Joburg Caucus leader for ActionSA. I guess you win some and you lose some in politics. Thanks very much indeed for your time.